Hi guys, I'm Miranda and today I'm going to be showing you how I press flowers. And I have roses and that's usually what I get asked about. I do get questions on how I press flowers, mostly on my Instagram and stuff, because I think I talk more about pressing flowers and liking flowers on there rather than on here. I really haven't talked about that on here. But I do have roses that I do want to press because they're getting to the point where they're nearly dead. But not quite, which is when I usually do it. But I don't know, it's a different kind of video. I get questions on it, so I figure if I show you, then it would make sense, possibly. So if you want to know how I press flowers, then just keep on watching. So the first thing that personally I think about when pressing flowers is, where am I going to put them? Since I'm doing roses, I do have a thicker book. For smaller flowers, I just use my journal, which I'll show you that later on in the video. But you want to have a place to press them. You can use notebooks, you can use reading books, you can use a journal, a diary, you can use older textbooks. Really anything that you can put the flower in between to mush, and then something heavy on top of that, then it'll work. I usually put stuff, you can use your mattress and just put it underneath your bed, and that, leave it for a few days, a week, you know, however long you want, and then they'll press, because, you know, weight helps them to become flat, hence why you're pressing them. But yeah, that's just my first little tip thing, I guess. Alright, since I am pressing roses that I had, I do have scissors to cut the stem. I also have a thicker book, and then I picked out the flowers that I want to press. And when choosing which ones I wanted to press, I really look at the shape. When pressing roses, I do wait until they are still, like, the outside is, they're still soft, but the leaves are very much dry. And they're dried out, but the petals are still soft. The pink ones didn't last as long as the white. The white ones are a little bit softer than the pink, but just to where they're not, like, some of them are crinkly, but as you go further inside the rose, those ones are still soft. That's kind of the point where I figure, okay, I want to press these before they dry out even more. And depending on where you want to put these flowers is how short you want to make the stem. I'm pressing them in a very not so thick book, so I really just have a little bit of the stem, but still not too long, because when I'm done pressing them, depending on where I want to put them, you don't want to have a really long stem sticking out unless you want that. Really, cutting the stem short is really just up to you. Then just flipping your book, usually to the very last page, because that's where the most weight will be, to where you have, well, I don't want to ruin my maps, but usually I would use like the last pages, but since these pages are just blank, this is what I'm going to use. And depending on how closed your flower is, sometimes you want to open them and see these petals are falling off, but I'm still going to press them. And then you just want to place it on the page, however you want it to look. Then I did open this one more to where the petals aren't as, you know, defined, I guess. When you set it down, it does kind of flare out. And I'm going to take this page and kind of take a larger chunk and kind of just put them there. Very gently, I'm not pressing really hard. And again, very gently. I'm just going to close that. And you can see where they are exactly. You can press on them a little bit. And then you just want to take whatever you put your flowers in, and I'm going to put mine underneath my bed, and I'll show you what my other ones look like that I already have pressed. And then when I say under my bed, I mean my mattress, just so you guys know. But here's my other book that I used. It was just an older textbook. And you guys can see where the flowers were. I did more than one, so I'm not sure where my other ones are. Probably on the last page. Yeah, okay. But they are, you know, dried out. That's the point of them. I'm using my knees so I can hold that down. But just, it flattens them out. It preserves them pretty much. So you can leave these out if you wanted to, and they won't, you know, dry out anymore. They are still soft too, since when I pressed them, they weren't super dried out already. So they are still soft to the touch. I'm leaving these in this book because I don't have a place to put them. But that's just what they're gonna end up looking like. It's just a flattened version with a cute little shape. I'm just gonna go ahead, put this one back. You know, roses are different, how all of those roses were pink, but this one turned out more pink while the other ones turned out more yellow. I'm not sure what causes that, but again, it just is very soft to the touch. And I'm just going to keep that in there. Then, just for other flowers that I press, I'm using the scissors to hold on the page, by the way. As you can see, a lot of them are very vibrant, and, you know, they're flat. I mean, they're preserved. It's amazing how they're literally just about as thin as paper, but still have their shape and everything to them. But with wildflowers, usually, that was a, I don't know what tree that came from, but I go on walks a lot. I also press leaves, but I go on walks a lot in the spring and summer, and when I find like wildflowers, or in this past fall, leaves, if I like flowers that look interesting to me, this one was like a mini rose, then, you know, I'll take them. I'll pick them up and take them home and just immediately put them in this book, which is my journal. But they're just very fragile. Keep in mind, you know, they can break easily, but I don't let these sit out. As soon as I pick them, I take them home and I put them in this book. While for roses and like flower assortments or anything, those ones I let sit out because I like having them in my room to begin with. But if I find flowers and stuff that I like, and this goes for like, you know, garden flowers, hydrangeas, you know, flowers that you typically plant yourself, those ones I do pick and I immediately put them in this book. And as you can see, I mean, a lot of them do stay true to color. I know that wasn't the best demonstration or best viewing of what I do, but with one hand holding a large camera, it's not that easy. But you guys get the general idea. With, you know, flower arrangements, big, larger flowers, ones that you typically would keep in your home for a longer period of time, I do let them sit out to not dry down all the way, but again, just to where they are still soft to the touch, but maybe the outside is starting to get drier. It's completely up to you. If you receive flowers and want to immediately press them, that's up to you. When I get flowers, I like to keep them for a little bit to, you know, have them. I'll take pictures of them and with them and be, I like the shadows that plants make and stuff like that. But that's completely up to you. But yeah, I like to let larger flowers sit out while smaller wildflowers, cherry blossoms that are on trees and stuff. Usually when I'm out and about, I'll pick flowers and then I'll press them immediately because they tend to dry out faster, I think, because they're smaller and they're not meant to be kept and stuff like that. Dandelions, not the best flower. You might want to let those dry out a little bit because they can get messy when you try and press them. I'm not sure why. Same with daffodils. Sometimes they just get messy if maybe they have a lot of water still in them. I'm not really sure. I'm sure there's like more research online for properly pressing flowers and how long to wait before pressing them, but this is just what I do personally, and a lot of people do ask, so hopefully this video was somewhat helpful in how I decide to press flowers and where I put them and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. I love you, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying the videos that I've been putting out lately. I have so many just out of order that I still haven't edited, so I don't even know when this one will go up. I'm not sure how many videos I have up before this goes up. Who knows? But anyway, I love you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!